Hello guys, welcome back to the channel, and today I have another educational video for you, and this is the second part of the introduction to RSI series and how to use it and how to apply it in your trading strategy for you to become a profitable trader. So in the last episode we discussed about what scenarios we use the RSI in, where we take the buy and sell signals in an RSI, and how to inculcate them in your trading strategy along with the price action part of it, right? So today I'm going to show you some let me demonstrate why inculcating this with price action is so important and why you can't use indicators alone in the markets. So sometimes you have certain high momentum stocks, right? When you say high momentum, they consolidate for, let's say, weeks together, and then they suddenly break out and they keep going up for a very long time. So today I have an example of Adani Ports for you. So if you look at Adani Ports in the weekly time frame, you can clearly see that here it broke out from its resistance trend line, right? And then you can, after that, it gave a huge momentum, right? Even if you go further back, you can see another structure also forming. Even you can see this trend line right here, and it broke here at this point. So it has been breaking resistance trend line after resistance trend line, and it has been going up with huge and high momentum with very good volumes and bullish candles, right? So this we can categorize these as high momentum stocks. So this is one of the examples I showed you guys. Now if I go to the daily time frame and I clear these, I clear this out. So if you observe the RSI, like in every other tutorial video, you see what people would generally tell you is when the RSI touches 70 or 80 or goes into the overbought region, that is a sell signal, right? By definition and by the other tutorials you watch, it will mostly be okay, RSI is here, sell the stock. Now imagine what would have happened if you would have sold the stock anywhere in these regions. Here okay, you could say you probably got a small fall. If you short sold it here, you didn't get anything much. And then in these areas, this is the area. So imagine what would have been your state if you short sold Adani Port in these areas, right? So this is why you cannot directly look at RSI and decide whether you want to buy or sell. You need to look at the chart and the market structure and how the price is moving, and then decide if you are looking for buy signals or sell signals. So if the same chart, I eliminate all my sell signals. Suppose I eliminate all my sell signals and I'm purely looking for buy signals. I'm purely bullish on the stock, right? So whenever it comes anywhere close to my oversold region, I go long. Obviously, here I go long, I caught the bottom, and then next time here I go long, I caught the bottom again. So this is the importance of staying with the trend. Another good example for this can be Adani Green, right? Even Adani Green, very high momentum stock. As you can see clearly, it's around what, 35 or so, and and right now it's trading at 1200 in a matter of a few years. So that is a huge rise, and every time if you short sold anywhere during the lifetime of Adani Green, you would have been in problem. Because as you can see, okay, this was one major fall, and that was it. This is during the COVID crash, and you can see after that there is no major fall as such. You could say this was another major fall, but again, it would be difficult to catch a stock in its downtrend when it's going up in upper circuits, right? How are you going to predict that it's going to turn around there? It's not possible for us. So we cannot trade here as well because it's coming down in lower circuits. And yeah, so if you short sold Adani Green at any of these points, it gave you RSIs of above in the overbought region multiple times. It has sustained over in the overbought region for a long period of time. But then you can see what happened during that duration. So you cannot. This is the reason. Again, I'm telling you, do not go on by RSI blindly. Another example of a high momentum stock, as a very famous example, In the US markets, it's Tesla, right? If you look at Tesla as well, this was the March crash. Believe it or not, this is how small the March crash was. And after that, this is what happened to Tesla. So Tesla gave you, so SL signals here. So now what are the prices corresponding to this price? Here. Did it fall? No. Look what happened to the price next. So if my trading strategy would have been to buy the dips, because obviously I observed that it's a high momentum stock and I'm only looking for buy signals. My first few buy signals came in this region. Now this region lies right here. I would have caught the bottoms, right? And I got a good swing, and then again market seemed to be consolidating, and again it might give me a buy signal here, right? Again RSI might drop, again this price might come down, and in case it bounces up, you can see a very good formation of a double bottom here, breakout, and Tesla might continue its move up. So this is the technical perspective purely, and I reserve the right to be wrong, right? So we always deal in probabilities. So this is one high probability setup or a scenario that I foresee coming. So now this is it for RSI. Now let us dive into a very important topic corresponding to RSI, like relating to RSI. So this topic is something called RSI divergence. So you would have heard about RSI divergence. You would have heard the term RSI divergence, and let me give a small brief you on this small topic. So what typically happens in an RSI divergence? So there are two types of RSI divergence. One is bullish, and the second is a bearish divergence. So this is a concept where you observe the pattern made in the price as well as the RSI. So in a bullish divergence, what happens is we are trying to spot a reversal in a downtrend. So when the stock is in a downtrend, we try to predict a reversal and say that stock is going to turn around now and going to go upwards. So how do we predict this? That is done by a tool called bullish divergence. It's not a tool, it's a methodology, right? So what is a bullish divergence? So let me clear these drawings out. So yes, so let us say this is the stock price stock price on top, and then let me say this is the RSI, right? This is the stock. Now the stock is making lower lows and lower highs and coming down, right? Similarly, RSI is also making lower lows and lower highs and coming down. It is replicating this market structure right here. That is the structure it has right here. Now suppose this stock has made another lower low. Now this was my previous low and this is my current low. But instead what RSI does is, this was the previous low of the RSI, and the next time it came down, it came till here only and turned. So now this is the low correspond. So this low corresponds to this. Now this low right here corresponds to this. So on the charts, I have a lower low and another lower low. On the RSI, I have a lower low, and the next what is happening? It's making a higher low. Right. So this is a divergence of sort. What is a divergence? Divergence is two things, basically two roads or two paths separating. So here this is still coming down. This is still coming down, but this came up and has turned around. It is going up now, even though the stock is coming down. So this difference in direction is what we call divergence. These opposite nature of directions. Right. So what does this signify to us? So as I already told you, RSI is a momentum indicator and it shows us the strength of the momentum. Now this was the RSI signal. Let's say this was around 25, and that was the strength of the momentum in this lower low. Now in this lower low, when it formed another lower low, the strength of the momentum decreased because this is 25 and now this is around 35. So the strength of the bearish momentum is decreasing. The lesser the RSI, the stronger the bearish momentum, right? So now because this RSI is going higher, this momentum is slowing down. So what we can say is, okay, now the sellers are weakening and the buyers are entering the market. The momentum is weakening and then market might turn around from here. This is the prediction we try to make. Same in case of a bearish divergence as well. So in a bearish divergence, the stock is moving up, forming higher highs and higher lows. RSI forms higher highs and higher lows. But the third time, another time during another higher high in the stock, RSI fails to break its previous high and makes a lower low. So RSI is making a lower low, whereas the stock is making a higher high. I'm sorry, this is a lower high, not a lower low. So RSI makes a lower high, whereas the stock makes a higher high. So this is a bearish divergence, and we say that okay, the buying momentum is decreasing here because the RSI is decreasing and the RSI is not able to keep up with the price. So we can say that okay, there might be a reversal here and the stock might go down because the momentum is falling. So this is a very important concept used to spot reversals in a trending market, right? So let me give you a few examples of RSI in this Tesla chart itself. I've spotted a couple of opportunities or examples, let's say. So if you see here, obviously I told you not to go for bearish signals for a high momentum stock, but this is just to show you an example. Okay, so here the stock has made higher highs. This is one higher high and this is the second higher high, so uptrend obviously. But if you see the RSI, this is the first peak and this is the second peak, right? So the RSI is coming down whereas the stock is going up. So we can say the moment at this point, oh I'm sorry, I marked the wrong peaks. So corresponding to this peak is this, corresponding to this peak is this. So with the naked eye you can tell that RSI is going down, momentum is weakening, whereas the stock is going up. It is in an uptrend. So as soon as this happens and this peak is formed, you can see a small little fall in Tesla. I mean, this won't be a small little fall because Tesla is a high momentum stock. This is almost a 10% fall. So yes, exactly, we just spotted a 10% fall in Tesla, which is a high momentum stock, with a simple concept of RSI divergence. Another example right here, Tesla, another higher high formed. Now if I observe the RSI in these similar areas, RSI is coming down, so I can say the momentum is weakening from here to here, and then you can see the fall from here right up till here, another 7 to 8% fall. Right, now this was Tesla. Tesla would not be the best example for bearish divergence, obviously, because it's a high momentum stock. Now let's just look at Nifty. Why not? Right, this is the current Nifty chart. These were the drawings I had made yesterday. So if I look at Nifty, so here I had drawn this white line from the higher high to the previous higher high, right? Now Nifty obviously was in an uptrend here. Till this point it was in an uptrend. So now how did I spot a reversal? Right here, and from this point you can see that Nifty has been going down. The momentum in the the trend in the medium term has effectively reversed as of now, because if you see here, this failed to form a higher high. It failed to break the previous highs. Now this is a lower high for us and it is going down. So unless this previous higher high is broken, we cannot say that Nifty has continued its strong momentum upwards again. Okay, enough about this. So how did I spot a reversal at the peak of Nifty, at the all-time high? So obviously I've drawn this line from the higher highs. If you connect the RSI from these points to this point or this point, what do you see happening? RSI is obviously decreasing, so this is another bearish divergence example. So if I had gone short here, obviously I'm still in profits. I'll probably still be in profits till Nifty touches 14k. Right now, Nifty does obviously have an important support area right here. So I will not make any speculations about Nifty going down till 14k. But I'm just telling you how I spotted a reversal in Nifty and how I wasn't completely bullish anymore in the medium term. Now another example right here, you have this vendors Nifty. How to this concept helps us because in a bull market, as I told you, the corrections are fast and furious. So this can protect you from those crashes. So this can effectively you can predict with reasonable accuracy as to when this crashes would happen. Right now here the RSI is here, and now this next high is obviously a lower high. If you see, I mean this line probably won't show you. If you see here RSI is 72 and here RSI is 71. So that is not a considerable fall, but it still is a fall, and you can see clearly what happened next. Right. So if I go further, this was the corona crash. So obviously when this whole crash happened, nobody knew where it would stop, right? Or where or when it would stop. It was just nightmare after nightmare. But then this is not this. I did not spot this when it happened. I spotted this during my research, obviously. So at this time, this was the lower low, and this was the next lower low on March 23rd or 24th sometime, right? So I've connected these lower lows. Now what happened to the RSI? If you observe the RSI, this was the low. This was my low, and the next time it happened, this was the RSI. So what is happening to the RSI? So RSI is gradually going up, which means the selling pressure, this was the selling pressure right from the top till here, and when we reach this area, obviously the selling pressure had reduced because it has already crashed. So I always tell you, when there is continuous selling and sustains for a long period of time, obviously at some point the buyers come in and step in and the bulls take control, right? So exactly, when you could have if you could have spotted this, you could have caught all this, right? The huge uptrend after that which followed. So if we look at some let's look at Bank Nifty, right? If you look at Bank Nifty, this was a higher high formation right here, because the high of this was around 32,718. The high of this was 32,840. So this is a clear higher high, and the previous high being broken. If I observe the RSI in these areas, this corresponds to this, and the next high corresponds to this. So if you see the difference in the RSI, it's huge, it's not small. This is around 75 and this is around 67. So even though the price has made a higher high, RSI has shown a huge fall. So what does this mean to us? This is an obviously clear bearish sign for us, because RSI momentum indicator, RSI is a momentum indicator, and it is giving us bearish signs, huge bearish signs, not even small ones. And you can clearly see what happened in the next few days after this. Here the market closed, and then we went down about 6 to 7%, and then here as well, if you see, this was clearly a higher high and a higher low, higher high, this was a higher high, higher low, higher high again. So when we were here at this point in the market, if you observe the RSI again, divergence, right? This is the RSI here and this is the RSI here. What is happening? RSI is coming down whereas the market is going up. This means the market structure is weakening, and then you can see what happens. If I go even further, before the March crash as well, I'll go through this quickly because I hope by now you got the feel of this. Now again, lower lows and lower highs, downtrend in the market. The downtrend, you can see that it had been continuing for a long time. This was almost for 2 months, and now there was a lower low formation here, but in the RSI there was a divergence spotted, clear divergence spotted. So what do? At this point, if you go long, you can see you could have caught all this juice. And next, you can see higher highs being formed in the market. And then if I come to the RSI chart, this is what is happening. So what is this? A bearish divergence. Now after this bearish divergence was spotted here, you can see what happened. I mean, this is not solely due to the bearish divergence obviously, but even after this bearish divergence happened, from a technical perspective also there was a fall. Let's say till here this was the huge fall because of this bearish divergence. I won't say all this was also due because of the bearish divergence. Obviously this is the corona fall, but you can still see a technical correction after the bearish divergence was spotted. Now let me show you some stocks. Right, this works again in stocks and indices both, because prices move similarly in everything. Price action is the same, indicators are the same. So now Sun Pharma had been making higher highs and higher lows for like 3 months almost. If you observe the RSI in this period, now this is me joining 3 highs, not even 2 highs. This is me joining 3 highs. So I had 2 opportunities here. First opportunity was when I spotted this. When I spotted this right here and this right here, I had an opportunity to go short right at the peak, or let's say a couple of days later, and you have 10%. Another opportunity for me was when this happened. Another higher high was formed, another lower high was formed in my RSI. So what do? Obviously I go short again, and another huge fall I have of 5%. Now the market itself has made a lower high and it is giving us bearish signals itself. So there is no scope of finding for RSI divergence here. Now if this starts going down and we spot a bullish divergence, then we can say a reversal could take place from there. Now this is a failed case, right? I'm warning you again, nothing is 100% in this market. Even my RSI divergence has a very high probability and a very good probability success rate, but still even this does have some failed cases, and I want to show you those as well. I just don't want to show you the cases which passed and make you feel like you've achieved trading or you're a successful trader now because you have the secret strategy. No, even this is not fail proof, because here this as well as a clear RSI divergence. You could say you had a fall, but no, the trend did not reverse. The trend was still here. If this was a successful RSI divergence, then the trend would have reversed and gone down, but my trend has not reversed yet and it has still continued going up. So this was a failed case of an RSI divergence. You can go in charts and look around and see for yourself what the probability of this is, and if you could inculcate this in your trading strategy to make you to take you one step closer towards becoming a profitable trader. Right, now this again I'll quickly go through lower highs and lower lows, but if you observe the RSI, this is happening. So this is coming down and this is going up, clear bullish divergence, and you can see what happened next. Again another example. Yeah, clear higher highs and higher lows. Now if I come here, this is the divergence I spot, and then you can see after that this failed to break the previous high and then fell all the way down. Right, now the last chart for today, let me show you SBI. I'm showing you more examples so that you can get a clarity of the concept. A lot of times if I show you 1 or 2 examples and leave, you might get stuck when you're looking at charts yourself, right? So that is exactly why I'm showing you more and more charts. So I took up the example of SBI especially because to show you the flaws in this, I will show you where it succeeds and also the flaws, right? So if you observe SBI here in this huge period of time, it was a range bound market. So for example, in this range bound market, if I drew on my RSI, if I drew my RSI from anywhere, this is not a divergence example, this is a simple RSI strategy example. So if you said like RSI, okay, right here it's in the oversold region, right here, if you sell this, you couldn't have been profitable, right? Because this was a very small fall. This will not fit into your risk to reward category. So for your risk to reward risk management rules to be satisfied, you need a fall at least till these levels. So this was another failed case. So this was basically to tell you that RSI in range bound markets is not the best idea to go with, especially when the range is small. If the range is huge, then obviously you can look for reversal signs and overbought, oversold, and go for it. But when the range is so small and the market is being volatile, then it's very difficult to predict using RSI. So that is it for today, and I hope you understood RSI and the applications of it. This is one of the most powerful indicators and tools we have here, and hope you make good use of it and become a profitable trader in the future. Thank you.